Okay, we are back live streaming. We've just come out of in camera. I am reporting that Council was educated regarding the 2020 financial statements. We will now move to our delegation, which is Jason Healy, McKillican and Associates, regarding the letter from the Treasurer, management's responsibility for the consolidated financial statements, and regarding our financial statements for 2020. Welcome, Jason.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Just would like to thank Council for the opportunity to present the draft consolidated financial statements and remind Council that these statements remain in draft format until such time as Council approves them. On the second page of the printout, the management's responsibility for the consolidated financial statements. Just like to point out that the financial statements are the responsibility of Township's management and are prepared in accordance with public sector accounting standards. On page number 1, which is the fourth page of the printout, it's entitled Independent Auditor's Report. I'd like to review our report. It identifies in the opinion paragraph whose financial statements have been audited. In this case, it's the consolidated financial statements of the Township of Madawaska Valley. And these statements consist of the Township, those of the Library, the Waterworks, and the BIA. It also states the financial statements have been audited, and our opinion on the statements is that they present fairly in all material respects. It also indicates that the report covered by these statements is 31 December 2020. On the basis for opinion paragraph, it states that the opinion is in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards and that we are independent in relation to the Township. The responsibility of management and those charged with governance for the statements. The section of the auditor's report describes the responsibility of those in the organization. They're responsible for the preparation of the financial statements. And the auditor's responsibility paragraph states that our responsibility is to express an opinion on the consolidated statements based on our audit. The audit was done in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards, and it states whether we believe the audit evidence is sufficient and appropriate. In this case, we believe it is. On page number 2, the consolidated statement of financial position, I will hit the high points. We'll note that the total financial assets have increased $962,000 from prior year. Also that financial liabilities have decreased $56,000 from the prior year, and that the non-financial assets have increased about $3 million from the prior year. This leaves the municipality with an accumulated surplus of $39 million, the bulk of which is in equity and intangible capital assets. Also note that the reserves have increased by $970,000 from the prior year. Are there any questions? And if not, I'll turn to page number 3, the consolidated statement of operations. I'll simply note that the revenues are up $2.5 million from prior year, but are in line with budget, and that the results from the current year operations are a surplus of just over $2.8 million. I'll also note on page 22 that the financial statements are present fairly in all material respects for the Ontario Home Renewal Trust Fund. And similarly on page 26 that the financial statements for the Madawaska Public Library Board also present fairly in all material respects. And I guess my final comments, did issue a management letter as a standard practice this year to the Township. Just want to point out that we didn't have any significant, the letter points out areas of improvement and suggested efficiencies. It's not meant to be a criticism or that of the Township or its staff. If there's any questions, I'm happy to take them now.
Okay, thank you. Does Council have any questions for Jason? I don't see any. Do any members of staff have any questions for Jason? Okay, I'm not seeing any. Oh, wait, there's our treasurer. No, she doesn't. Okay, so I know Amanda, a little later in our agenda, you're going to address that letter, the letter from the auditors on the 2020 financial statements. So we will speak to that at that point. But thank you, Jason, for letting us know that, overall you don't have concerns. These are areas that we could improve upon. And as always, we've been working hard. I would note that a couple of If you go back a couple of years ago, there were a number of things where they were again pointed out that could be improvements, but we couldn't because we hadn't, our software package wouldn't do what needed to be done. So I know when Amanda addresses the letter, she's probably going to speak to that changeover in our software, and it has definitely allowed us to tick some boxes and to gain some efficiencies, which is great. So thank you, Jason. I really appreciate you being here this morning, and council appreciates that you take some time to educate us and then present to the public. So you get to do it twice. But we do appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you probably in May or June of 2022 to do 2021.
As do I. And just I would like to thank staff for their assistance during our audit. Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. Okay, so with that, we will move on from our delegation. We have the confirmation of the minutes for the council and committee meeting of December 7th, 2021. And Sue, I'm going to ask you to read all the recommendations. Sue?
Madam Chair, before we do that, can we approve the financial statements for 2020?
Okay, I didn't have a note to that effect, but yes. So do you have a motion?
I do, that the financial statements for 2020 be approved as presented.
Okay, could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Bromwich, seconded by Councillor Schulist. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Okay, we did that. So then if you could read the recommendation from the council and committee meeting minutes of December 7th.
Yes, recommendations coming out of roads and waste management. 1, that council approved that the private roads grant program should continue in 2022, and that staff is directed to forward these 2022 private roads grant report with attachments for budget deliberations for council consideration to budget $22,000 for 2022. Second item, that council authorized staff to begin the search and acquisition of a used garbage truck to replace Unit 40 1991 Ford compactor located at Bark Lake Waste Site, and that these funds with an upset limit of $40,000 be drawn from Environmental Service Reserves line, Equipment Replacement Reserve, and that unit number 40 is deemed a surplus. Under operations, water, wastewater, and facilities, first recommendation that the Ontario Clean Water Agency Q3 financial reports and cost plus reports for the water and wastewater facilities are accepted as presented. And that council approve the Ontario Clean Water Agency Aqua 5972 expenditures as presented, totaling $14,612.70, which encompasses work orders 254348 2542 327, 2540894, 2540886, and 2541973. Third recommendation, that council approve the application to the Ontario Trillium Foundation under the Resilient Communities Fund for a $60,000 renovation to the municipal office to upgrade, install a new propane furnace, HVAC unit, air conditioner, and ductwork to ensure proper heating and ventilation for staff, council, and all visitors to the facility. Under the Fire and Protection Emergency Management Committee, recommendation that the donation request from George Vanier Catholic School is approved to have the South Hall Fire Department flood the school's outdoor rink as part of their training exercise. Recommendations under Recreation and Community Development, that council accept the operation manager's recommendation to hire Suzanne Garrett as facilities attendant cleaner at Group 2, Step 1, based on 2021-11 Municipal Employment Bylaw. And that council accept the operations manager recommendation to hire David Pekarski as facilities and parks attendant at Group 3, Step 1, 2021-11 Municipal Employment Bylaw. Second recommendation, that the Commercial Recreation Committee meeting minutes for November 11, 2021 be accepted as presented. Recommendation out of the Finance and Administration Committee, that the January 4, 2022 Council and Committee meeting and the January 18, 2022 regular council meeting be canceled, and that a regular council meeting is scheduled for January 11, 2022.
Okay, thank you. And our overarching recommendation is that the council and committee meeting minutes of December 7th be approved as presented with those recommendations. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Bromwich, seconded by Councillor Wilmer. Are there any of these recommendations that council wishes to discuss? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? and that's carried. I guess I should have asked if there were any errors or omissions in the minutes. Maybe I better just quickly ask that in case there were. I'm sure somebody would have stopped me. Okay, so we're good with those minutes. Any business arising from those minutes? Okay, I'm not seeing any. Under municipal reports, the audit of 2020 financial statements, management letter, and Amanda, you have, okay, you have provided, oh, sorry, I got a little bit muddled here. I've got to find it. You have provided us with a report on the management letter. Thank you. I didn't see the word report in what I read. So I just wanted to, I'll turn it over to you to speak to the items that our auditors are recommending as areas for improvement.
Okay, so following audit of financial statements, every year the auditor who operates independently from the municipality provides a management letter where they point out what they call, under auditing terms, significant deficiencies in controls. And these are just processes and procedures throughout the auditing process. So they have identified a couple of deficiencies. And these are for our purposes to help us to get better, to improve ourselves within our auditing process, and maybe make our jobs easier as we operate throughout the year. So I have just responded, as I do every year. So I will just go to my report, and so the auditor has pointed out taxes for county and school board reconciliations. Updating the reconciliation in conjunction with the processing of the taxation would ensure amounts are correctly processed and will ensure the accuracy of the general ledger. So what he's saying is, when we process the supplementals, write-offs, and section 357 for the taxation process, we process them in conjunction with the MPAC reports. We download them into the system, and then it's important that we go to our general ledger accounts to make sure that they're posting correctly into all those accounts, which we do this process every year, because at the end of the year we need to make sure all those general ledger accounts are reporting accurately and they have all the proper information in each one of the accounts, so that we can then report accurately on our FIR and our financial statements. So the changeover in software, training for the software has made it difficult for us to do it quickly and efficiently, but it was done. And so that's what he's speaking to. It's not that it was not done, it was done. It just, it took some time, and we had to ask the auditing team to help us out to double check our numbers and make sure that everything was correct. So we have our spreadsheets, and then we look to the general ledgers and they double check our numbers for them. So that's what that is. Grant files. So he spoke to following up of the setup of the central repository for grant applications and applicable documentation. So as we apply for a grant, then we have to record when the application was done, what the response was if we were accepted for the grant, what the definitions or the terms of the grant are, you know, if the municipality has to pay a portion of it, or if it's a full 100% grant, what is an acceptable expense and what is not an acceptable expense, and when we receive the money and what was expensed out of it, because we need to keep track, and we report usually to the ministries or to the province. We have to send in our expenses, our invoice copies. And so in the management letter, he's just saying that that needs to be cleaned up and done better, because when they do the audit, then they're asking for this information and it's not readily available. So it took some time to get all that information to them. And that's where he's going with it, is as the process is started, you continue to just keep putting that information in there rather than doing it all at once at the end of the year. Certainly there's some areas of improvement, and I am confident that moving forward in 2022 will be a better year for us when we start working on our 2021 financial statements. And I just would like to comment finally that the 2020 fiscal year was definitely a difficult year for the finance department. We had COVID pressures, we had increased tasks on us. It was extremely busy with the realty market, which took up a lot of time for us. Software changeover was huge. And normally when you do the software changeover, they actually come to your office and they do that for you. And those people are there to ensure that everything is working perfectly. But because of COVID, they could not be here. So everything was done via Zoom, which Zoom works well sometimes, but it was a very difficult process for this purpose. And so it took a lot longer. There was staff personal leave, and within our office of 3-4 people, one person out that is a key member really takes a toll on the amount of work that has to get out. So that was huge for us. Asset management was going on. Water and wastewater changeover was being done. Software and the equipment was being changed. We just took on a lot. There was a lot getting done all in one year. So I apologize to council, but I'm proud of what we got out, and I think we did an excellent job. So I just want to say thank you for everybody's understanding, and 2021 financial statements will be a better year. And we are all looking forward to moving into 2022 and just looking back and not even, so thank you very much.
Amanda, there's no need to apologize at all. We are so proud of all the work that was accomplished by our very small finance department. And as you say, you were a person down at the time, and so much going on with the changeover in software, with the new meters and the new metering software for water and wastewater. It's, yes, the financial statements are typically are presented in May or June, and this is late in the year, but you got it done.
Yes.
And it was good.
And I just want to say it took that time. We needed the time to ensure that both systems were reporting accurately. We wanted to make sure that everything was right. And that is so important. And so we just felt if we needed that extra time, that's what we were going to do, is just take that extra time. It may look bad on us, but we needed the extra time. And we did it. So, but we did it, and we got it out, and it's done. So, yes. So
Amanda, you were running the books in 2 different sets of software simultaneously, were you not?
Yes, we were. Yeah.
For how many months?
Many months.
Okay.
It started in September 25th was the launch date, and then it was a rollout. So we had general ledger starting September 25th. Then it was, I think, November 15th for taxation, and then we didn't get into water and wastewater until February. So it was a lot. It was at least for 6 months, I would say. So,
Okay, Sue.
I wanted to add to that as well. The new meters came at that time, so the deputy treasurer had to do the reporting in the old system, and then for the first billing with the new meter, and then had to bring in the new software for the next billing. But I wanted to thank all the finance staff. I think they all very much, deserve the praise for implementing in 2021 the new software while merging decades of information and having to ensure its accuracy. Their patience and determination and the way they worked as a team over every issue, every item, every mistake, or not a mistake, but anytime the internet didn't work and they had to regroup and start over. I think it will bring us closer to benefiting from the efficiencies this new system will bring, and we'll have the process in place to better manage our arrears, and our e-billing is going to be our next steps, and then cross-training and quicker reporting will be seen by all. So hats off to each and every one of them. I think they've done a great job, and I concur with Amanda. I know that they worked very well with the auditor, and I think it was the comfort of the auditor saying, getting it right is more important than getting the date. So kudos to each and every one of them. I think we're blessed to have them all.
Amanda.
Sorry, I just want to make sure for one financial point. We definitely kept in touch with the senior financial advisor at Municipal Affairs. So there has been no negative impact to any of our funding or grants because of this. They were really supportive of us, and as long as we just kept in communication with them and just let them know regularly what's going on, what's happening, they made sure that we received our funding within the scheduled timeframes that we were expected to get it. So just wanted to ensure that you are aware that there was no negative impact to the municipality for this.
Great, thank you. Any comments or questions from council? Councillor Wilmer.
Again, I just want to say thank you too. I think the staff did a wonderful job under very difficult circumstances this year. And I think the point of taking the time to do it right is a really good approach and the right approach. I think in the end we have a very positive auditor's report, and there are always things you can do better. That's the point of having an auditor, but overall it's very, very positive. And I'm just amazed, Amanda, to sort of hear that you will probably have the 2021 one report out on time, usually around May or so next year. So thank you very much to you and your staff for all the work.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Wilmer. And any further comments at this point on the Amanda's report on the auditor's letter? Okay. Should we do this recommendation, Sue, even though we're accepting it as information? Do we want to actually formalize it?
I suggest we do. There's been enough work put to it. It should be pen to paper.
Okay, could you read the recommendation, please?
Absolutely. Through the chair, that council receives the audit of 2020 financial statements management letter report as information.
Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Wilmer, seconded by Councillor Schulist. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Okay. Councillor Schulist's internet is just a little bit slower than everybody's. So if I'm pausing, it's to give him a chance to express himself through his vote. All right.
The chair,
Amanda?
I'm going to jump off now. I think I'm done for the meeting, but I just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Amanda. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Amanda.
Merry Christmas, Amanda.
Okay, so now we have bylaws. I'm just going to. Okay, our next section is bylaws. We have bylaw 2021-117 regarding authorizing the entering into an execution of an amending agreement with William Jason Greenwood relating to parts of lot 27 and 28, concession 12, Township of Jones. The recommendation is that bylaw 2021-117, being a bylaw to authorize the execution of an agreement between the Corporation of the Township of Madawaska Valley and William Jason Greenwood, be given first and second reading this 21st day of December 2021. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Wilmer, seconded by Councillor Bromwich. Is there any discussion on the bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. The recommendation is that bylaw 2021-117 be given third and final reading this 21st day of December 2021. Could I get a mover? Moved by Councillor Schulist, seconded by Councillor Bromwich. Any final discussion on the bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Next is bylaw 2021-118 regarding authorizing the entering into and execution of an encroachment agreement between the Township of Madawaska Valley and Raphael A. Pastway and Paula A. Pastway with respect to part of the road allowance between lots 5 and 6, concession 5, Geographic Township of Radcliffe. The recommendation is that bylaw 2021-118, being a bylaw to permit encroachments upon unopened road allowances, be given first and second reading this 21st day of December 2021. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Schulist, seconded by Councillor Wilmer. Is there any discussion on this bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. The recommendation is that bylaw 2021-118 be given third and final reading this 21st day of December 2021. Moved by Councillor Bromwich, seconded by Councillor Wilmer. Any final discussion on the bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Okay, under correspondence information, we have County Council summary dated November 24th, 2021. So county staff have prepared this summary of what occurred at the meeting, the County Council meeting, and I believe we're going to be getting these every month. I'm hoping we will, because I think it's a great way to keep council informed of what's going on at county. Did anyone have any questions or any discussion? Okay, we are accepting this as information, and I hope that you do find it useful. All right. Oh boy, I don't know who put this pop-up on Windows, that if you go near the bottom bar, it pops up and covers your part of your screen, and there's no way to get rid of it. But it's just done that to me. So I'm going to do my best to work around this, folks. All right, correspondence action items. We have an email from Ottawa Valley Cycling and Active Transportation Alliance, the OVCATA, dated December 8th, 2021, regarding the bike bank support. Councillor Schulist, I was wondering, I know you were engaged in this. Did you want to speak to it?
Yeah, I think we have to support this. I mean, I think they even intercepting some of the stuff at the wayside, and that basically you're looking at recycling some of those parts to bikes and stuff like that. But as far as active transportation and stuff like that, I know there was talk about it before COVID and that, and sort of stopped. I think we need to keep promoting this kind of stuff because I think it's beneficial, for our community. So I definitely would like to support this. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Wilmer.
Yeah, when I look at this, they're giving two options in supporting it. The first one being what Councillor Schulis indicated, asking our waste management staff to divert bikes that look salvageable from the waste stream. And I think that's a great idea. I think we could do it and support that way. As far as donating money, I always have a problem with that because basically we're giving away taxpayers' money. We're not giving, so my thought would be, yes, let's support this by diverting the bikes at the landfill sites.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else want to weigh in? Sue. Okay.
I might suggest that we advise our recreation community development coordinator. Sometimes there's some small business grants and small initiatives coming out of the County of Renfrew. And as she sits on the joint group and is aware of some of the economic development initiatives coming out of the County of Renfrew, there might be some, sometimes in the summer they have those 5,000 grant initiatives for new associations, and maybe we can send those their way.
Okay, thank you. And Councillor Schulist.
Yeah, yes, to you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I mean, I hear what Councillor Wilmer is saying. One thing they're saying here is, that $100 per municipality could help insure. I'm just wondering, other municipalities, if they're being engaged in this here. I know it's not a lot of money, but that's right. We're using taxpayers' money. Yeah, that might be a little sensitive, but at the same time, I wouldn't like to see Madawaska Valley out of this support if all the other municipalities throughout Renfrew County are supporting it. So I don't know, maybe we could put this one on the back burner, but I also like what I heard from Madam CEO. So, and I think she's got her hand up. So thank you very
Does
much.
she?
Yes.
Sorry, Sue.
Might I suggest that we we'll contact the other municipalities to ask, and we're coming into 2022 budgeting. And if every other municipality has supported, it is something we can bring in under the new initiatives and actually budget for it in 2022.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan. In the interim, could we ask that staff keep their eyes open for any bikes that do come into our landfill that may be salvageable and in reasonable shape? Again, that just diverts from our landfill. We may have a few out at the Bark Lake Mall, I'm not sure. So do you need a motion to that effect, Sue? Okay.
Yes, I'd like one if I can.
Am I winging it, or have you got something?
I winged it. I can read
Good.
what I have. Through the chair, that council approved the diversion of bikes from the waste stream to the OVCATA group for repurposing.
Okay, could I get a mover? Moved by Councillor Wilmer, seconded by Councillor Schulist. Any discussion on that recommendation? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Okay, so we'll do that, and then we'll just defer the second part of this to the new year when our staff may have an answer and we can look at the 2022 budget and the new initiatives, if that's okay with council. All right, I'm not seeing any concerns with that, so we'll do that, Sue. All right, our next item is an application for donation from Robbie Dean Family Counseling Center dated December 15th, 2021. Is this something council wishes to take action on, or is this something we are going to file? Councillor Wilmer.
I think it's a good cause, but I really believe it's something that I know they're asking all municipalities, but I think it's more something that individuals should sponsor. I mean, when they're looking at roads, or again, it's the same reasoning. I don't think we should be spending municipal taxpayers' money on these type of events. I think people can make their own decisions as to whether they want to support these events or not. So I would file it.
Okay, so if there's no concern with that, then again, reinforcing the message that it is a worthy cause, but it is one for the public to make the decision about whether they individually wish to support it, and certainly they could purchase tickets to the event should they wish to do so. All right, so we will file this one, Sue. New business, or maybe I should say, do we have any new business, or are we? I know you have some unfinished business because it just won't end. You were going to speak to the pandemic and where we're at in terms of municipal operations. So let's go with unfinished, or do you consider this new?
No, I think it's new business.
Okay.
Just to advise council that we are off next week, so the office is closed. Roads and waste management continue full operations, but the deputy clerk has shared the information on our website as well as on Facebook of the operating hours. We will be closed between Christmas and New Year's. The County of Renfrew has advised that in response to the new COVID variant that they would be probably going back to working from home, as well as, so what we were thinking was we will just monitor what happens between Christmas and New Year's. We have not advised our staff that we're going back down to phase 1, which is having the doors locked, working at 50% capacity, having those who can work from home. So the deputy clerk and I will kind of monitor where we're at the week prior to, or a couple of days prior to coming back, and we'll copy council on that messaging, and we'll share that messaging in the public forum.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from council for the CAO? It's a kind of a wait and see, and let's hope it doesn't turn into what some are saying it could. Okay, is there anything else then under unfinished business, if that's new? Okay, I have a hard time saying that's new business because it's the ongoing business.
Ongoing,
You
I
know, as
suppose, one
we're-
in the middle.
Yeah, that's what we sort of need because we're a year and a half into this pandemic. and
Yes.
Yeah, we thought we'd be, a couple of months and it would be done. All right, so as I did note to council at the beginning of the meeting, the agenda was amended, so the second in-camera session will be done at our January meeting. It'll be a part of that rather than today. And with that, then we're down to our confirming bylaw, which is bylaw 2021-119. It's the confirming bylaw for the council meeting of December 21st, 2021. Councillor Wilmer, did you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's my mistake. I was going to bring it up under new or unfinished business.
Okay, well,
And,
let's do that.
And it's just saying that the township has posted on social media all the public skates that are happening over the summer. I wish it was the winter holidays or Christmas holidays, and these are all supported by various community groups and businesses. So there are a number of them throughout, including one on New Year's Eve. So I just want to let people know that to get out and support these groups and also have a great time with your family skating. So they're all posted anyway, so check them out, and it's something to do during the holidays, as long as we're allowed to keep operating the way we are. So just wanted to bring that up.
Okay, thank you. And certainly all of the COVID measures would be in place for those public skates. So thank you very much for reminding us of that and reminding the public of it. Is there anything further? I might as well just double check here so I don't miss anybody. Okay, no, we're good. All right, then we will do our confirming bylaw, which is bylaw 2021-119. It's the confirming bylaw for the council meeting of December 21st, 2021. The recommendation is that bylaw 2021-119, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council of the corporation of the township of Madawaska Valley at a council meeting of December 21st, 2021, be given first and second reading. Could I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Bromwich, seconded by Councillor Schulist. All those in favor? And that's carried. The recommendation is that bylaw 2021-119 be given third and final reading this 21st day of December 2021. Moved by Councillor Wilmer, seconded by Councillor Schulist. All those in favor? And that's carried. Motion to adjourn 2021. Moved by Councillor Bromwich, seconded by Councillor Wilmer. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We are adjourned, and hopefully 2022 will bring better.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas to all.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everyone.
Christmas.
Have a
Yes,
great
Merry
Okay.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Have a healthy, happy, and safe